Bonjour et bienvenue sur un autre épisode de On peut le dire. And today we're attacking nasal vowels. Yay! I've been waiting for this since the beginning. That was my most exciting bit. So that's pretty cool. I'm just not comfy. Beanbags. I'm not used to them. There you go. So, oral vowels and nasal vowels. Now, the big trick for British learners is that nasal sounds do not exist in English, but in French they are really, really important to be understood and to understand people. So I've done a little drawing here to sort of show you what's actually happening. And I was going to say this is going to be a bit hands-on, but it will actually be tongue-on if you participate, because you can't really put your hands inside your mouth. So this is a little rendition, very basic, of basically you have the nose, you have the mouth, that at the bottom is the tongue. I don't know what's in that area, but we don't really need it. And so at the top of your mouth you have the roof of your mouth, and then here you can see you have the velum. I've put it in two colors because it moves, and if it's lowered you have an oral vowel sound, and if it's high, if it's lifted, you get a nasal vowel sound. So first let us try and find our velum. If you run your the tip of your tongue along the roof of your mouth towards the back, you'll get to an area where it's a bit jelly-like and it's a bit flimsy. It can go up and down. So do that now. I'll do it along. I know where it is, but I'll do it along so you don't feel like you're putting faces at the video on your own and you're looking stupid on your own. I'm looking stupid on my own in the library at the moment, so there you go. So let's do this. You can even play with it. Once you get there, you can sort of suck it down a bit. So when you found that area that's not hard roof of your mouth, but it's soft and it can lower, that is your velum. Okay, and without it, we couldn't do nasal sounds. All right. In the IPA alphabet, you recognize them with this little symbol on top of your code. Okay. So what happens is in English, in all of your vowel sounds, the air is coming out only through your mouth because your velum is lowered. So you can see here the little the dots in red. I don't know if you can see it well, so I'm just going to go over it again. So dot, 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 velum closed. So the air is coming out and it's like bump, can't get out through the nose, oh, gotta get out through the mouth, and then that's a normal vowel sound. Okay. However, for nasal sounds, what happens is your velum goes lifts, lift, 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 lift. And that means that when the air comes out, it goes, ooh, yay, there's a fork, I can go both ways. And you get air coming out of your nose as well as out of your mouth. Okay? So, I'm going to demonstrate to you in practice what it can sound like. We have 4 nasal sounds in French. We are probably evolving to only having 3 because 2 of them, those 2 in the middle, are very similar, and one of them requires more effort than the other, so it's probably going to vanish eventually. We don't even do it in my home area, so some of it is down to regional preferences. Up north we don't really do that one. I had to learn to do it when I was in England training to teach French. Ironically, I was French and I didn't know this sound. But here we have a, en, e, un. I think I might have done it wrong. Un, yeah, that's better. Un, e, un, o, un. Okay? So I've paired them with their oral equivalent. You can see they're basically, this one is basically this symbol with a little nasal symbol on top. This is the same. Okay, so that's the oral version and that's the nasal version. Okay, and then I've put them in words. So you can see that pronunciation will change the meaning. Here we have la, which means the feminine, so like la plage, the beach. Vais for like go, I go, je vais. Beurre, butter, and porte, a door or wear, like we've done before. Okay. So for example, it's not so striking for all of them, but for this one, if you look, we have la, the feminine, lent is slow, it's an adjective. So if you mispronounce it or mishear it, you won't know what's going on. So we have la, lent. Ensuite, vais, vin. Vais, vin. Now in the north of France we say vint, but I'm trying to sound neutral. Donc 20 or 20. Beurre, brun. Beurre, brun. Porte, pont. Porte, pont. A way to test yourself and know if you're producing the nasal sound right is it works best with a cold hand. So if you're at home, you could stick it in the fridge or the freezer for a couple seconds, or run it under cold water and then dry it not in a warm towel and then do the test. So because you want to produce a nasal sound, basically if you just put your finger here, if you're creating an oral sound like ah, you shouldn't really feel air coming onto the top of your finger because it will be coming out of your mouth. But if you go from an ah, oral, la, to a nasal, lan, en, now you should feel some air and some warmth coming here. So the next round, we're going to go through them again, and I invite you to do them with me and have a finger here and try and see you're aiming at feeling some warm air coming to this part of your finger, if you have this finger, otherwise this one or this one or this one. And if you are feeling that air, then you are indeed doing a nasal sound. Well done, you're on the way to sounding French. Okay, so let's compare. La, lan, la, lan. V, 20, V, 20. And now my finger's warm, so I'm going to try and get it to cool down a bit. V, 20. Beurre, brun. Beurre, brun. Porte, pont. Porte, pont. And if you struggle because of the consonants, let's have a go with just the pure sounds. So we have a, en, a, en, e, un, e, un, e, un, e, un, o, on, o, on. And that's it for nasal versus oral vowel sounds. Okay? So I know so far we focused on making the sounds. We haven't looked at how they're spelled and how you know how to pronounce such words or such words. So we are going to look at that eventually as well. But first I thought it was interesting to focus on just the simple listen and repeat and parrot technique which children use spontaneously when they're learning how to speak in their mother tongue. Okay, so we will look at spellings as well afterwards. I know that might be a concern of yours. Yeah, and we'll also be looking at a few consonant sounds if they are tricky. A lot of them exist in English, so they're not that tricky, and it's more about the spelling. And that's it. As usual, like if you like this, leave a comment down below if you have anything to say that you'd like me to know, maybe feedback, maybe a question, maybe just a comment, maybe just to say, thanks, that was helpful. Share if you know some people that this might help, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. What are you doing? Why have you not subscribed already? I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm hungry. My humor goes down when I'm hungry. So I'm just going to stop here and go and eat something. Thank you. Bye. Au revoir.